Hey everybody, it is Mr. Ensminger. Sorry that I could not be there for you today. I have a little sick day. I should be back up and in action in a day or two, hopefully. But in the meantime, this video is what we would do in class. Of course, today's Tuesday, so your class already met technically yesterday for the other periods. So let me just go through with you what I would do with them. Alright, so first, congratulations. Today we begin Java. We've made it 3/4 of the way through the year, and so we're going to be talking about Java, so we'll deal with that here in a moment. Thank you for all of you who got your submissions in over the week, or I shouldn't say over the weekend, last week, with showing me that you got Java working. Hopefully today goes well for you. If something goes wrong, please let me know as soon as possible. So we're going to start Java today. Asynchronously this week, the first lesson is get the Java textbook from the course materials. So let me just show you real quick where that's at. Go over here to course materials, open that up. You'll see there's the PDF for the C++ book. Here is the PDF for the Java book. Please download that to your computer. And for you guys at home, make sure you have it both places, home and in person. Here at school, you'll see that they are both the same manufacturer, Deedle, so they're very familiar with the programs in there. A lot of the chapters are very similar. A lot of the programs and examples are very similar. For obvious reasons. The languages, C++ and Java, are very similar. Syntactically, they are identical for the most part. You still have brackets, semicolons, similar variable types like int and double and char, but there are obviously notable differences. So, like I said, please download that book, and then lesson 1 here. If I open this up for you real quick, there is a fillable form you can download. It's in Microsoft Word, but if you open it up in Word or Adobe or Google Sheets, it'll let you fill that in. So the plan is we're going to go over that on Friday. So make sure you download that, fill that out, get that done for Friday. If you have time at the end of class here after the video, you're certainly welcome to get that started here today. The other things to do this week, to wrap up C++, we have the sorting algorithm quiz. That is due Friday by midnight. That is the final grade of the marking period. The end of the marking period is technically Monday, but of course, why would we have a 1 day next week marking period? So we're going to wrap this up Friday, so please get that in. There's no late dates, there's no makeups for that. It's just, you have all week, so make sure you get that done, please. And then finally, you have the third asynchronous lesson. It is the history of Java video. It's a short little video kind of encapsulating some of the things you're going to be doing in the Unit 1, the Java note sheet. It's a guided note sheet which will take you through the first chapter of the Java textbook, which includes not just things like how do you create a Java program, how does it operate, how does it differ from C++, but also it's the history of Java, how this developed, and so on and so forth. So, if I just return to the agenda here quickly, those are, oops, a little too fast. Those are the 3 asynchronous lessons this week. And again, today we're going to do Java, and on Friday we're going to do the note sheet. So, without any further ado, let's open up Dr. Java. You guys who are in person, so if you're watching this in school, you have a couple of things you need to do first. First, on your desktop, there's probably going to be 3 different Dr. Java icons. There's one that looks like a capital letter J. You don't want that one. Delete that one. There's another 2 of them that have a little penguin with a peace sign and a big red nose. If you put your mouse cursor over top of the icon, one of them says August as a date. The other one says, I believe, September 14th. It's hard to do this when I'm at home, not in person, but I'm pretty certain it says September 14th. You want the one that says September 14th. You can delete the other one. It is not important to you. So please make sure that you take care of that. Open that up. You might see something different on the bottom. So if you did this at home, you probably see at the bottom the Amazon Corretto, the version 8.265 or 242 or just whatever version you have, you're going to see that the compiler is ready because it has the proper tools.jar file installed. So unfortunately, at school, it was installed incorrectly back, when during the chaos of the early part of the school year back in the late summer. So we need to get the proper installation of this for you. Okay. So if you go up to Edit, Preferences. All right. First of all, if you want the line numbers, you can go Display Options, Show All Line Numbers. Click that, it'll show that. I really recommend that. And then underneath that, just FYI, is fonts. You can load in the console font, or any other font really, but some of you were complaining that the font was really tiny. Well, here's where you increase it. Don't change the other stuff, but I would definitely change the main font up to maybe like 16, 18. I'm making mine rather large so you can see it on the videos. So going back here to the top where it says resource location, and again, this is rather difficult for me from home because I don't have the same computer as I do at school that it has this set up correctly. So I'm going to do my best to describe the way that where this is located. But right here you see there's a tools.jar location. Okay. Right now, for me, it's blank, and for you guys, it should be blank. But the thing is, it can't be blank for this to work. You need to install the tools.jar location. So if I hit the ellipsis button, I need to go to the C drive. And like I said, this is where I'm going to have a really difficult time showing you because I don't have the same directories. But I'm going to do my best. So you're going to go to the C drive. Then you're going to go to Program Files. You can try. I don't know if it's going to work, but you can try to go into Amazon Corretto. See if this directory is here. JDK18, I really don't know. Underneath there, oops, you have to double click on the folder, not the name. Underneath there, if you go to lib, tools.jar, select it, hit apply, OK. It's great. So again, if you're at home, yours should be working with no problem. It's just the school computer lab. So this part of the video, you can just grin and bear it, just suck it up. So at school, if you have a computer that has that directory, the Amazon Corretto JDK180265, fantastic. Okay. If you don't, I'm going to do my best to make a comment here. Try to do this video. Maybe the substitute can pause it here for a moment. But do this directory. I'm pretty sure I'm accurate with this, but if I'm off a little bit, just do your best to find the tools.jar. I'm sure you guys are all very intelligent young men and women. You can figure this out. But under the tools.jar location, at school, under Edit, Preferences, you need to add the tools.jar file from C:/program files, not program files x86, just regular program files, Android Studio. Okay, and then underneath there, it's something like Android, and then again, I'm doing my best here, sight unseen, just for memory. I believe it is LIBJRE, somewhere in there, something like that. I might have this part reversed. I honestly don't remember. If you dig through those subdirectories, I promise you it's in there. Maybe you can do a file search for it. But the programs I'm going to show you won't run unless you have that. Once you have that, restart Dr. Java after you do this. Okay, so let me just pause for a moment. In your head, just picture, listen for the Jeopardy theme song music. Da-na-na-na. All right, So please do that. And again, that's only at school. If you're at home, then the last like 3 or 4 minutes of this video was completely pointless for you. Too bad. All right. 3, 2, 1, we're back in. So like I said, Java is syntactically very similar to C++ in that all of the basics are the same. If statements, for loops, while loops, all of the basic structures. Input and output are vastly different though. There's no, C in, C out, that's not at all the same. So let me just show you what you already have done and then we'll add to it. So if I make a public class, what follows that is the class name. It has to be a proper identifier. It is like a variable name. Can't have spaces, can't have special characters, can't start with a number, can't be a keyword. I'm going to call this my first program, even though I know it's not your first program. Put in the brackets because yes, there are still brackets in Java. It's capitalized because it's a class name. One of the reasons we have been so, stringent over the last 2 years on your style guidelines is because now when you get to Java, the capitalization of your classes versus your variables versus your functions does matter a great deal, as you'll see in this program. So, class name. Now the thing is, the file name must be called this. When you try and save this file, it will name it my first program. Don't deviate from that. They have to match up. So that's one mistake people often make early on in Java is they try and make these different, or they accidentally change one, or they don't like the name of it. You can change the name, but just make sure you change both. You have to change both the file name and the class name. Okay? You know a class is a public class. Everything in Java is a class. Every single file is a class. Public class, everything that begins with public class must have its own file. And that's what we have right now. Now we have the main function, public static void main, string args. So it's not quite as short and sweet as int main, but it's still the same idea. There's a main function. It has no return. That's where the void comes from. It's a member of a class. It's a function, so it's public. The keyword static is a little bit tricky to teach you about right now, so I'm going to just take a pass on trying to explain fully what that does at the moment. We'll tackle that when we do classes in the distant future. And then in here where it says string arg, so first of all, notice that string is capitalized. It's a class. Things that are capitalized are classes. Lowercase args, that's a variable. It's actually an array. So this dates back to the old days where you had to compile and run your code in the command prompt, or what's the console window. Now that's all done behind the scenes with JGrasp or Dr. Java or Eclipse or Visual Studio or Idle, any of those things we've ever done a program with. But it's still there. It's just one of those things that we do it because we do it, and that's a set. So put it there. Not that you ever have to worry about it, it's just something that goes there. So now, to output, system.out.println. The ln on there is like endl. It represents a new line character, so if you did print by itself, it would not do an endl. It would stay on the same line. ln, it goes the next line down. System is a class. Out and println are parts of that class. On the left, you have the class, the dot, and then the right side would be the function of the class. So you have the println function from the system class. In parentheses, hello world, and again, I know this is the program you've done. Let's just double check, make sure it works. You can't just hit run, you must hit compile first, compile then run, and as I said, you guys who are at school, hopefully you got this part working. Again, apologize if you didn't. You can still do the program, and then I'll show you next time we're live in person. At home, you shouldn't be having any problems if you installed it correctly. Again, please let me know otherwise if that's the case. Okay. So now that you've seen your first program, we've talked a little bit about it. You see that you can do comments the same way. We, of course, should put our header at the top, my first program, March 22nd. For me, for you guys, it'd be March 23rd, period 8, and then my name. So now we can get rid of some of this stuff. Make it look a little bit better. There we go. So what else? Well, again, this is the one you guys did to prove to me that you have Java working. Let me go up top here above the class declaration. In C++, you have include statements. Well, in Python, you might remember we had import. That's what it is in Java. It's the same idea, though. If I import a file called JavaX, the Java extended libraries, many of the Java libraries are simply Java, like java.math, java.util, and we'll do plenty of those throughout the course of the next marking period plus whenever you take the class in the future. But we want the JavaX.swing, the standard Windows graphics library. We're going to be able to do colors, RGB colors, lines, circles, rectangles, but also in there are things like message boxes, labels, text boxes, forms. So we can do some stuff we used to do back in the first year class now. Java has those capabilities, whereas C++ it was just, ugh, no thanks. Then we do an asterisk followed by a semicolon. That represents the end, that represents all, wow, let me gather my lips for a second. The asterisk represents the wildcard character, which is all of the files in this library. So in the installation, you have a folder that's like the Java extended library, and then you have a folder underneath that. And so this gives us access to certain things, certain commands. So if I come down here to my main function, capital J, capital O, in the word option, J option, Java for J, option, and then pane, P-A-N-E, not like, ouch, I'm in pain, but like a window pane. In Java, you'll see a lot of wink, wink, nudge, nudge type things towards Windows because Microsoft trademarks Windows and Java is not a Microsoft product. So you're going to see references often to things like panes, frames, things like that. It basically means a window. Then we're going to do a dot. On the left is the class name. That's why it's capitalized. And then show message dialog parenthesis null comma. Notice how it uses the camel style, lowercase s, capital M, capital D. Null, we're going to make a little message box in the center of the screen. In quotes, we're going to say something like hello again. And there's going to be a little message box that pops up. So I'm going to hit compile, run it again, and up pops that. And then down here, of course, is hello world. A little FYI, if you run the program and you don't see this popping up, try and minimize your Dr. Java or JGrass because very likely it'll be underneath. I don't know really what causes that, but oftentimes you'll find it likes to hide. I don't know why. Who knows? So, on your desktop, if you want to minimize this again for a second, you'll see that there are 3 different files now. Maybe 2, possibly 3. The extensions, one of them might be a .java with a little tilde after it. You can delete that. That's just a temporary file. There is a .class file, which is the compiled code. Again, you don't need that. But the other one, the one that ends in .java, and on the school computers it has the file extension hidden, so it probably just says the name of the file without any extension. That's what you want to keep. That's the actual text of the program. You can just go to file open or file recent and load that up. But those are the files you want to save. You can get rid of the other ones. Of course, you can keep them. It's just gets cluttered and crowded and wasteful to do those extra files. You don't really need them. So this is your introduction to Java. We will, of course, be doing plenty more soon enough. But in the meantime, as I said, make sure you do the quiz this week sometime before Friday. Don't forget also, by the next time I see you on Friday, please make sure that you've taken time to do the guided note sheet, download the textbook. The note sheet is pretty much in order from chapter 1. So the stuff you're looking for, if you go in order in the textbook, you just go ahead and look at that. Thanks again. If anybody needs anything, please let me know. I'll be around. Like I said, I just have a little sick day, a little doctor's appointment to take care of. But I'll be available if anybody needs me. So take care. Have a great day. and at some point go outside and enjoy the beautiful weather.